Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Ba-dum, ba-dum, dum, dum, dum. Do-do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do, ba-da-bum-bum-bum-da. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah.
What are you eating, Mommy?
Ooh, no, no, no. Boo do 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 do. Do 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 do. Ba da ba ba bum bum bum. Yeah 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 no no no. Do 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 do.
The iPad died, Lizzie?
Do 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 do. Woo 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 do dum dum.
There's some crackers right there on the table.
Bum 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 bum.
Are we live?
We are live. Yes, we are.
Hi, guys.
Oh, we are in. Wait. What's up, P-Pod? It's your boy, Shaun P., the leader and general of the illest team known to man, the Purefoys, a.k.a. your family's favorite family. And it is Wednesday, so you already know what time it is. It is time for your favorite show of the week. Well, it might not be your favorite show of the week, but it's definitely one of the most important shows of the week. It is time for Live with Shaun
And Key.
And Key!
You trying to take my part.
I wasn't. I was just trying to set you up for the nice, like, alley-oop off the backboard so that you could just
No, you trying to take
come
my
on
part.
down. But, yes, we are here. Welcome back. Today's show is not about being a stepdad.
Time zone. We are Eastern Standard Time.
We are EST. We are in New Jersey. We are on the East Coast.
Yes, and our followers are P-Pod.
The P-Pod. Ren Curry, what
Hey,
up?
Ren.
What up? Overseas, what up? You already know. Wakanda.
I can't.
Wakanda, forever. Listen, that is the proper Wakandian greeting that you got to send everybody. You know what I'm saying? So shout outs to everybody. Thanks for joining us live.
Yes.
Tonight, we're going to be getting into a couple things. We're going to tell you about our awesome weekend, and then we're also going to be telling you, what are we talking about tonight? Yeah, we kind of forgot to figure out a topic. No, I'm just kidding. One thing that has been, I've been asked a couple times to share on is why we started homeschooling. So if you've been following us at all, you know that we are we're a Christian family. I am an educator by day and a dad and musician by night. But all while that's going on, our 5 babies are at home with Key, and they are getting their school on. They are getting their school on.
Yeah.
So we homeschool all of our kids. All of our kids will be homeschooled. Fortunately, only 4 are of a learning school book learning age. So right now we're homeschooling 4 out of the 5 kids. Ari is 6 years old, and she is on a
second grade level.
Ari's on 2nd grade curriculum. Raylan is just now getting into her preschool curriculum.
Yes.
And Xavier.
Xavier's in 10th grade. Gosh.
Wow.
I know.
Xavier is technically a sophomore.
Yes.
And Jaden is in 8th grade? 7th grade. 7th grade. See, I'm all mixed up. You got so many kids that sometimes you just forget about it. But I always see, you know, my friends mostly, you know, especially like educators, they always ask us, you know, how did you get into homeschooling? What made you homeschooling? How difficult is it? It is just a question that we, as much as we talk about it, we can just really just never escape it. So today we're going to talk about why we homeschool. But before we get into that, we need to tell y'all about our amazing weekend and how we met.
Ari's my favorite. I can't see the rest.
You can't just look at me. And how we met MAZELEE, y'all. We met MAZELEE. We met Joe and Alena.
Yes.
Lee. Maze.
Oh, don't tell the others.
We met them this weekend, y'all.
I love it, Moni.
So an awesome story happened. So as you all know, a couple months ago, thanks to our good friend Miss Ren Curry, who was in the chat. Shout outs to Big Ren over there. She was able to some magical way get us hooked up with the MAZELEE channel. And if you guys haven't seen them, they are an awesome channel here on YouTube. They are a Black and Korean couple, and they have more kids than us, believe it or not. They have 6 kids, super blended family. And they have about 500,000 subscribers almost, or probably more than that. And they are what's up? Welcome. And they are just an awesome, just Christian family. They really about promoting just like positivity,
faith,
and
family,
and film. And they are just like great people to know and watch. So Nakia was actually used to watch them, right?
Yeah, I started watching them maybe a week or 2 before they came into our live. Or they came into our live, right?
They did. Yeah.
So it was, I don't know, but thank you, Ren, for doing that. That's awesome.
For the hookup. That was definitely an awesome hookup. But they came on. We were super late doing our regular live show, and we were also streaming not only on YouTube
but on Instagram.
And
he came in there.
And Joe came in on the live, and he said what's up, and I didn't know who he was because my YouTube experience, even though we do vlog like family channels, I wasn't really into like the family vlog thing. Most of the time, I just use YouTube to watch sneaker videos and what else do I watch? Oh, and pimple popping. So that's my wave on YouTube, gross stuff and sneaker related material. But this particular day, so Joe hops on the live, and he's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Hey man, how you doing?" And I don't know. And Key's like, "Oh my God, yo, do you know who that is?"
I said that once we got off, of course.
Yeah, once we got off, she's like, "Do you know
who that is? Do you know who that was?" He's like, "No."
No clue who the dude was. And she's like, "Yo, that's MAZELEE." And I'm like, "Okay, all right, hi MAZELEE." And then he kind of like DM'd us, and we just started talking on Instagram for a little bit. And he's saying like one of his subscribers had recommended him to us, or recommended us to him. And we, he said, I love what you guys are doing. You guys have potential to be a lot of potential to be an awesome channel, and I just want to show you some things and just just give you some knowledge that I know. And I'm like, okay. So then that turned that little texting back and forth through Instagram then turned into an hour-long phone conversation.
Yeah.
I gave him my number and he gave me a call, and we just started talking about
Okay, make the long story short.
Yeah. Sorry, because this is not what it's about. We're
No,
he
just
Sorry, I'm rambling. So we talked for a while, and then since then we've just been talking every now and again. On the phone.
See, Monique, love it.
Hey, welcome. So they said, he's just been giving us, giving me a lot of pointers on how to grow the channel, just some things that I can do, and he's also just giving me some encouragement about this journey that is YouTube. So
awesome mentors
in this YouTube thing, and then of course there are brothers and sisters in Christ.
Yeah.
So what happens after we start talking? He tells me about this event that's coming up down by where they live. So they live in the DMV area. For those of you who don't know what the DMV is, that is the Washington DC area, so like that Maryland area. And he invited us out there. He says there's going to be a lot of creators there. They're going to help us, help us to grow our channel, give us some strategies. And, if not for anything, it's a great networking event. And I'm like, all right, cool. We want to grow. We want to do this full time. So we got to do what we need to do in order to make this happen. And it was just like an awesome. We got a chance to meet them. It was kind of awkward at first because, I didn't know him like that.
Yeah, like you text and you talk on the phone, but it's different when you meet in person because you get to really like feel out people's vibes and stuff like that.
And plus, when you know someone like that's kind of like famous, you don't want to be a groupie right off the bat.
So
we got to the event early and we saw them come in, and I'm like, and just to see them like in the flesh was kind of surreal, but through and through. You'll see a vlog about that later on.
Yeah. But they're dope, guys.
They were really dope. As dope as they are on camera, they are dope
off camera
in real life.
Yeah.
And they still were just, pouring into us and giving us even more pointers and just, giving us some strategies.
I really thank God for them. I think this was a God ordained relationship.
Most definitely.
I do.
So it's amazing how God works. God works in mysterious ways. If we didn't create this YouTube channel, we never met Ren. She would never saw us.
Yes.
And then Ren would have never suggested them to us, and we would never met. And then
Okay.
It's just so beautiful. Jesus, thank you. Hallelujah.
I cannot, y'all.
Yeah. So
Somebody come get them.
They were not the motor vehicle. I don't even know what DMV stands for, but they're just really awesome people, and we got this really dope picture. Maybe I can show it on it, but
or not. You guys follow us on Instagram. It should be posted. We'll probably post it on Instagram.
We need to get back to the topic at hand. So shout outs to Joe. Shout outs to Alena. But
all the time, God is good.
But yeah, a question that we get all the time is, like, where do your kids go to school? And we're like, oh no, we don't send our kids to regular school. We actually homeschool the kids.
Yes.
And the reason why we homeschool is because Key wanted to.
that ain't the reason.
Long story short, Key wanted to. No, how it started off, and I can't stand doing live by myself. Nobody wants to see me by myself.
I'm coming.
I don't know why this woman is...
We have 50 kids.
We only have 5.
Here.
And for those of you who are just now tuning in, you're live with Shaun.
And Key.
It's our weekly update show where we let you know what's going on with our family, what's going on with our channel, and what's going on in our lives and all those good things like that. So welcome. You are now in the P-Pod. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Share us with your friends and family.
Click
and all
that
those
notification bell.
Word. So why don't you tell them what had happened?
Okay, so what happened was Ariana was about 1, and she was already like saying her ABCs and stuff like that. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to start teaching her through her preschool years and, you know, just carry that torch, and then we'll send her to kindergarten. So I started teaching her, and obviously she was excelling. When she was 3, she asked me if she told me that she wanted to learn to read. So I started teaching her to read when she was 3. So ever since that time, I just kept going, and I just kept teaching her. And I was like, well, you know, I might as well just keep teaching her at home instead of, you know, kind of holding her back and sending her to kindergarten with kids who most of the kids don't know how to read yet. So that's what I did. I ended up keeping her home and just growing her little brain. And then we had a whole lot of issues in school with Jay. This one's kind of hard, but before we started having issues with Jaden in school, God was putting it on my heart to homeschool all of my children. And because I am Nakia, I'm always second guessing God and saying, you know, is this real? Do I hear you? Can you send me a sign? I'm that person. So I can pray till I'm blue in the face. He could send me about 50 signs, but I need 51 to figure it out. So what ended up happening was, instead of listening to what God was putting on my heart, I sent him and Xavier, of course, because I had no intention of taking Xavier out yet. But I sent them back to school. And that year, it was Jaden's 4th grade year. And that year, I was in the school all the time, talking to the teacher all the time. Jaden can't pay attention. Jaden keeps drumming on his desk. Jaden can't sit in his chair. Jaden couldn't go to recess because he couldn't be quiet, or whatever the case may be. It was always these issues. So we went to doctor's appointments to see what's wrong with him. You know, apparently Jaden had ADHD, started medicating my child. Then my child was like, kind of like a zombie. You know, he was, I don't want to say that medicating your children is the wrong thing to do, you know, but in some cases it does work for the child, but in our case, it kind of didn't work for him because he was more like, he wasn't himself. So that's what I want to say. I don't think that he was himself.
What my experience with that, was one time when I was, so we put him on the medication, and, you know, like that next week, we were actually getting positive emails and calls and things like that. And I picked him up from school one day, and, you know, he had told me that, you know, he was just like able to sit down. So, you know, while, you know, medication, you don't want to pump your kids full of drugs, but I'm a strong believer in, like, you got to give your kids what they need. Yeah,
so obviously in a classroom, that's what he needed.
Right.
To be able to sit there and not drum, or to sit there and pay attention to the lesson that was going on. But after a while, he started even started giving him headaches and stuff like that.
The side effects.
Yeah. And, you know, just being in the school all the time and him having those issues and, you know, not really good grades, him falling so far behind, I just was like, okay, I think this is the sign, you know, like, I think this is God telling us that, you know, I should have listened. So we ended up taking him out of school, and once we took him out, Xavier was like, well, I ain't going to school with
Yeah, Xavier definitely, he's benefiting from homeschool, but, I mean, they all are. And the idea was to catch them up. And but that was so many things were going on at that time. We were in like a really transitional stage. Xavier was starting his acting career, so along with trying to catch him up, and Ariana just coming into her own as, you know, the person that you all love to see. It was just like the right time. You know, things began to line up. My employment was as such so that, you know, I was making more money the following year. And just a lot of things just worked in our favor. So we definitely believe it was a sign from God, or definitely God ordained for us to do this thing. I had some reservations at first.
He did. He had a lot of reservations.
I was kind of bothered by it at first because, you know, I was a teacher and I was, you know, just feeling some type of like, well, why? To be totally honest, let me just to be totally honest. I just wanted, because I knew that Ariana would kick butt in school. I knew that, you know, I remember when I was in high school, when I was a senior in high school, it was this kid, his name was Joe Martinez. We used to call him Tino Martinez, because this kid was the captain of the football team, like the captain of the baseball team, and the captain of the basketball team. So he was a 3-sport player, and he had like advanced classes. So on the last day, our last our last award assembly, they called this guy's name in every category. Every category. And then it was so, you could set your watch to it. And then the whole school would join in. Joseph A. Martinez. You know, best pitcher, Joseph A. Martinez. So we just started. So I wanted that for Ariana because, you know, she's super smart. She was carrying on full-blown conversations with the adults in my school. When they would come to visit me at work, people would be just floored by how bright she was and how talented she was. So I just really wanted to see, her just kick butt in school. Yeah, so I mean, you know, I wanted to see that. Thanks for sharing, Monique. I wanted to see that happen. I wanted to go to an award assembly and just beat on my chest and just be like, that's my baby right there. That's my baby right there. So I kind of felt some type of way. And then also too, you know, like, I know how tough teaching is. And I just was just like, are you sure you want to take on this task? You know, are they going to learn everything that they need? You know, what about high school? You know, the social aspect and things like that. So I had a lot of reservations, but thanks to Key's diligence and her research, all of my fears were kind of put to ease in some aspects. You know, I was thinking about prom and stuff like that. All the cool things that come along with school.
I'm like, our kids are cute. Someone's gonna ask them to go to their prom anyway. But
yeah, but you know, what if they don't?
Oh, they will. You see our
what
kids?
If you don't?
He's talented.
So that's why we started homeschooling. And then plus, you know, it's the social aspect. You know, I see like how some kids in my school act, and it's not. Hey, what up? Welcome. I see how some of the kids in my school act, and like how, you know, some kids are just empowered to sometimes do the wrong thing because of other kids. You know, I think back to when Xavier was in middle school, and how, you know, this is when he first got a cell phone from his grandparents and his mom. After I said that he didn't need a cell phone, but they got it anyway. Never mind. That's another topic for another time. But whatever. You know, he would just film everything, just like crazy kids do nowadays. And this boy would just be like taking pictures in class, on Instagram, in class, in the hallways, taking pictures and things like that, and making videos with his friends and doing all sorts of nonsense. And, you know, I know that we don't raise him that way. We don't raise any of our kids that way. We train our kids to be respectful and to excel in everything that they do, to achieve excellence, strive for excellence. But they weren't doing those things because of their friends, you know? And so like a big, what's the word I want to know?
Influence?
I mean, there's so much. I mean, your kids are going to have influences wherever they go. You know, and if they're impressionable, like most of our kids are, you know, you sometimes run into the wrong influence. You know, I can vouch for what we say and do in front of our kids, but I can't vouch for what Hanifa is doing, you know, over in, you know, wherever they live and however they do. You know, a couple times I had to check kid Xavier and them and tell him like, look, we ain't white. You get your butt whooped, you know, because of things that he was doing in school or bringing into the house or whatever the case is. And that's no knock to white people. But you know, those were the conversations that we had. And just with homeschooling, you control, or you kind of put a filter on the influences that your kids experience. So, you know, there is no gang culture in here unless you down with the Purefoy gang. You know what I'm saying? There is no bullying. You know, you can't bully your brother or sister because, you know, you live right down the hallway from them. So, you know, there's you take those aspects out of it. And then what I was also talking to my friend about it, you know, just like when you think about it, homeschooling is actually like the most natural way of like teaching your kids. If you think back, because this is Black History Month, power to the people, you know what I'm saying, Wakanda forever. You think about, you know, the first teachers and how schools actually started, you know what I'm saying? Like the men would go out and, you know, hunt and build and, you know, establish the society, and the women would stay at home with the kids and teach them. Yeah. Family classics. Really quickly, you did miss it. That was like the first. That was during like the 15-minute mark. After my long ramble about MAZELEE. But why do we decided to homeschool? Because Key was just led by God. It was something that, you know, our daughter was advancing very quickly, and we didn't want to put her in daycare because Nakia is just afraid of everything now. You were. Oh, yeah. She didn't want to put her in daycare, and you know, it was just something that God had put on her heart. So
we ended up going with
it. Yeah. I mean, it was just working for it. Ariana learned how to read at 3.5, and it was just like, you know, they're gonna put her in a place where she's gonna be bored. She's gonna end up like my niece. So my niece Sana, hey Chloe, if you watch this. She's super bright, super bright, but she gets in so much trouble because she is bored in school.
Yeah, she's so bored because she's so smart.
Because she knows everything.
Yeah.
So she's finished her work in 5 minutes while the other kids are taking 20 and 30 minutes to do it. And, you know, so then she starts talking. I had the same issue in school myself. So I can only imagine what was going to happen to my poor Ari.
Oh, I know, because of the boys. Sorry, Ray.
Yeah. So, and then everyone else, you know, we wanted to catch Jaden up because of the skills that he lost when we switched school districts, and the fact that that is even an issue. You know, when you never know what your kids are being taught or what they're not being taught is actually the thing when you switch districts. So let's say in New Jersey, of course, like every state, you have some districts that are more affluent and some districts that are poorer or not as well off. And the learning is more advanced in certain places, you know. And if you switch districts because of whatever reasons, you know, your kid could be losing out on certain skills, and that's what we were facing with the boys. And now everyone is not going to pay attention to what I'm saying
because Raylan is here.
Because Raylan is here.
So cute.
That's okay. But yeah, man. That is the best way. I mean, as parents, we are our kids' first teachers. We, you know, as an educator who teaches other people's kids, I run into so many kids that lack certain skills that I remember my mom teaching me. I remember my mom teaching me how to spell. I remember my mom teaching me my ABCs and how to write numbers and how to add certain things. I think my mom was like the first person to teach me how to do multiplication, you know. And no, she can stay. Okay. She's fine. And but you know, I still have kids, you know, that are in our schools, especially in the Black community. These kids, they come to kindergarten and they don't know, the only letter they know is A. They don't know how to sound out words. They don't know letter sounds and all those things like that. So it's super important. It's super important to teach your kids.
Yeah.
So homeschooling is the best for us. And if you haven't seen it already, you need to check out our homeschool music video starring Jay, Ari, and Zay. It's phenomenal. All the myths that you hear about homeschooling is just they're lies. Our kids are self-sufficient. Our kids just know and experience things that you would never be taught in a traditional school.
Yeah.
And we can also add in that Christian aspect. We can teach them as much Black history as we want. You know, it's a shame that a lot of, you know, especially schools in urban communities don't do these things, because they have to, you know, they got to deal with park assessments, and they got to deal with this and that and third. We take the politics out of schooling.
Yeah.
When you homeschool. So that's why we homeschool, guys. So if you have some more questions, or if you need some if you have some questions for Raylan, since she is still in the show, we can do that now. And if not, then we're gonna end at our regular. Are we gonna end on time? No, because it's 9 o'clock now, and we're not ending. But it's all good. Do you guys have any questions for us? Some of the P-Pod is not in the building tonight. They probably caught up doing other stuff, but it's all good. But yeah, y'all. Any questions?
How do you feel about the recent school shootings? Ugh.
Don't get us started.
Yeah. It's definitely horrible.
It is. It's the saddest thing. I mean, how do you function knowing that something like that could happen?
And there's so many school shootings.
Yeah, it's like happening. It's happening too often.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like every week. I feel every other week, once a month, something. It's just too often.
It's just crazy, man. It's definitely a time to be praying for other people's kids. It's definitely time to bring awareness to these things. Laws need to be changed. We need to stand up and talk to the people who are in charge, and really start taking this mental health thing like really serious. It's not just for, you know, special needs or anything like that. Is people out here dealing with some things.
Yeah.
Is dealing with some things you never know. You know, bullying is real. Loneliness, depression is real. So, you know, we really gotta get it together with that.
And I definitely don't think that they should give teachers guns. I don't think that's a thing.
No, don't give us guns.
Don't.
Because I will shoot a kid. No, and what I mean by that is that, you know, teachers, we're human beings, right? And we're dealing with family issues. We're dealing with financial issues. We're dealing with a whole bunch of different issues, because we're humans. And then you have to add on to the fact of what your principal is asking from you, what the parents are asking from you, and the demands of your children. And if you're in one of these like urban schools where, you know, student culture can sometimes be negative, and you have kids that are talking back and, you know, running amok in the school, you know, if you catch the teacher on the wrong day and they have access to a gun, I cannot say that, you know, with a brief moment of insanity, that you might shoot a kid.
I did see a meme that was like that too.
Right. But that's so real though.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you know, especially men, you know, my go-to emotion when I get overwhelmed is anger. You know, we get that's that machismo in us. That's that testosterone just bubbling up. And who's to say that if some kid starts, you know, mouthing off or cusses you out or does something that they're not supposed to do, that jeopardizes them, another kid, and your job, that you won't just pull out the gat and just start blatting. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood too. Listen.
I can't.
Listen. I might pop off. No, but any home programs for teaching numbers?
We are loving the reading program. Oh, I'm so glad that you guys are loving the reading program. For teaching numbers, I usually just do, we write it. So I do worksheets, but this was before you. I started this with Ari. Thank you. We write it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we do worksheets usually. We write them down, and we do a lot of counting. So I do a lot of hands-on activities, count these balls, count these fuzzies, put them into bowls, stuff like that.
Yeah, lots of manipulatives, hands-on. Kids love that stuff. That's right. You ain't homeschooled. What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
Listen, man, make sure you guys check us out on SoundCloud as well. With all of our awesome songs. We're about to get out of here. But all of our awesome spoofs and our songs are on our SoundCloud channel. Let me find that really quick.
But yeah, last night, guys, I don't know if you caught us, but we were jamming hard on Instagram Live, on my Facebook story.
Check us out. That's our SoundCloud link. We SoundCloud rappers now. We trying to get a record deal with Rock Nation or Def Jam, one of those guys. But yeah, man, we trying to take this. We trying to go platinum. So
Thanks,
we need 1 billion streams. Tell everybody over there in South Korea.
Yeah.
Tell everybody over there in South Korea, because there's a whole bunch of y'all. There's a whole bunch of them over there. Tell them to check us out on SoundCloud. You know what I'm saying? Tell them to share our stuff, share our vids.
We were so live last night. It was not funny.
I lost 35,000 calories just acting stupid with Ari and Raylan. We put on a full out concert.
They did every song.
For the
they
live.
did every song.
We gotta record that, because that was mad fun. And you should have seen Ari and Raylan and Buddy. We was just going in while our stinking boys were upstairs playing video games. And we're going to end on that note, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. This is your boy, Shaun P.
And Key.
And you've been live with Shaun and Key. We'll be back same time next week. Drop us some comments after the live is ended. We would love to hear from you all. Drop
or
us
if you have any more questions about homeschooling.
We definitely answer. We answer all our comments because it's not that many. But good night. God bless. And be on the lookout for Music Monday coming up. Day in the Life tomorrow. Shout out to Joe and Alena MAZELEE. We the Purefoys. As always, live, let love.